today, since we don't have other announcements. So if you're just hopping on now, our props for today are going to be a chair, or you might want the end of a sofa or a table, something like that. You'll want your blocks and blanket and strap, and optional at the wall. And Julie's dog is named Sadie. Sadie, we love you. And that's all. Let's begin practice. There are a couple more spaces. We have, I don't know, 3.5 weeks to go, I think, till Kripalu. And it's filling up really, really beautifully, but there are still some spaces. So if anyone's feeling last minute now that you could really benefit from some rest, some renewal, and Shabbat reinvigoration and community, please consider joining me at Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health in Western Mass in the Berkshires, Lenox and Stockbridge, Mass, December 4th through 7th. It's the week after Thanksgiving, from Thursday evening to Sunday about noon. So you can check that out. Rachel will pop that link into the chat. There it is. All right, friends, it is the 19th of Cheshvan, and our Torah portion for this week is Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, our matriarch. And we're going to get started with a little warm-up, and then I'll teach a little bit on the portion, and we'll keep going from there. So find your way to your mat. And we're going to start in child pose. You may want to put some support under you. It could be blocks. It could be a bolster or the blanket if you want a little something. But and if it's not so good, the knee flexion for you, then you can put a blanket behind the knees. You can also simply sit in a chair and fold forward. I'm seeing that the camera's a little fuzzy, and I'm not sure why, but hopefully everything's okay for class today. So come on forward, whether it's traditional child pose or you're in a chair, then you might want to come forward and rest your head on a table or something like that. And I want to take our arms forward. Take them in as wide a V as you need for your own shoulders, if the shoulders are tight. But try to walk those fingertips forward and spread the fingers and create a nice contact with the floor, with the mat, for the palm of your hand. A feeling that you can really open each one of the knuckles in the hands, and there are so many of them. The elbows are straight if you're able. The elbows are lifted off the floor. And the eyes of the elbows, again, if it's available to your shoulders, and you really want to be safe with yourself. But if it's available to you, maybe you'll move the eyes of the shoulders in the direction upward toward the ceiling. And that begins to open out the upper arm bones, external rotation of the shoulders. And then also see that you extend through both side waists. So you have even extension in the torso as the pubic bone moves back and the tailbone moves back. And just feel your way into that child pose. Feel the breath coming to the side ribs. Into the back ribs. Even maybe a sense of the breath filling the pelvic basin. And then walk your arms and your torso over towards the right. You can extend both arms, or as I like to do, you could bend that right elbow and really working on length through the left side body and walk those fingertips. As you walk them over, try to walk them a little bit forward as well. So getting a nice opening through the whole arm. You might especially find sensation in the triceps, the under part of the left arm, and down through the armpit and the whole side body there. Good stretch on the triceps and on the lats. And all those muscles that insert right at the armpit. And then come back through center and over to the left, same thing, especially extending through the right fingertips. And continuing to just feel the breath, fill the torso. And then come back to center once more. And again, a feeling of equanimity, of equal extension through both side waists. And then walk the hands in, grab your blocks. We're going to do another little extra nice tricep stretch. Place your blocks vertically in front of you, as wide or wider than the shoulders, and on the lowest level. And then take your elbows onto the block. Come on up. You might take the palms together in prayer and then draw the tailbone back. And you can keep the hands in prayer in the air, or you can take that prayer to your back, right between the shoulder blades. And so as you draw the tailbone back, you're lengthening the spine. So it's a little puppy stretch with the elbows bent. And let the heart melt. Let the space between the shoulder blades melt. If your fingertips are touching there, it's a nice little kinesthetic cue for yourself so that the armpits open, the triceps open. This gets super intense if you drop down. So again, you're at choice and you decide how much sensation you're going to bring up here. How much are you letting the heart melt? How much are you taking the tailbone back? And also, again, always careful with the shoulders. See what your own shoulders want and can handle, so that we work with the body's wisdom, not with the mind, not with what we think should occur. Never over pushing. Okay, and then come on out of that, and any shakeout or any counter stretch or something, you might want to, again, maybe you want to extend that, just take another puppy there, child pose, you'll see. And then roll it up. And I'll share a little bit of teaching and then we'll continue. So our portion today is Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, but actually it begins with the death of Sarah at 127, the ripe age of 127. And we have a lot of generational transition here in this Torah portion. It's the end of the story of our first matriarch and patriarch, the end of the story of Abraham and Sarah. It's the beginning of the story of Isaac and Rebekah, Yitzchak and Rivka, and, as I said, the death of Sarah. And then Abraham sends his servant Eliezer out to find a wife for Isaac. And I want to talk about that in a moment. And then also, it's a long portion, toward the end of the portion, the death of Abraham, the death of Ishmael. So we have here what I think is considered the first prayer, the first utterance of prayer in Tanakh, when Eliezer comes to the well to hopefully find here a wife for Isaac, as he's been instructed. So this is Chaye Sarah, chapter 24. It's verse 12. And Eliezer says, God of my master Avraham, grant me good fortune this day, And that's not exactly the Hebrew. The Hebrew says, ve'aseh chesed. Well, it says in the English, and deal graciously. Ve'aseh chesed im Adoni Avraham. Deal graciously with my master Avraham. Here I stand by the springs as the daughter of the townsman come out to draw water. Let the maiden to whom I say, please lower your jar that I may drink, and who replies, drink, and I will give also water to your camels, right? The one who's generous and gracious with me, let her be the one to whom you have decreed for your servant Yitzchak. Thereby, through that interaction, shall I know that you have dealt graciously with my master. I will know, uva, in that, eda, I will know, ki asita chesed im Adoni. So twice in the span of 3 verses here, we have this term, la'asot chesed, literally to do loving kindness, right? Ve'aseh chesed im Adoni Avraham, ki asita chesed im Adoni. So that's our lesson today. Aseh chesed, do chesed for me. Bring more loving kindness into my life. Bring loving kindness into my speech, into my actions, into the way I talk to myself and the way I treat myself, right? Because so often we're kind to others, and that's not hard for us, but we're most unkind to ourselves. So that's our whole practice today. Aseh chesed, don't do harm, do love, do goodness, do friendship with the body. Can you make the body your friend? Can you make the places that hurt, the places that have pain or discomfort, can you make them your friend and your teacher even, as I often say? So we're going to look for equanimity, which I think is an offshoot of chesed, in our body, in balancing. We're going to try to find some kindness in our balancing. And that's what I'm getting at in this whole idea of lengthening the side waists. So we're going to do a lot of lengthening here and evening out of the hips in our practice today. So optional, you can take the wall for what we're going to do. We're going to lie down and we're going to take the knee to the chest and we're going to take the strap with us. And if you'd like to use the wall, you can set up your block perpendicular to the wall, but it's not necessary. But it's just a nice way, if you have it available to you, it's a very nice way to la'asot chesed, to find a kind way to work in the pose. So feet against the wall or just the wall, bend your knees a little and then push off the wall so you can really keep contact and be right where you want to be. Once you find mountain pose, let your arms turn up and tuck your shoulder blades really onto the back nicely, like put your wings onto your back. Feel the collarbones open slightly. Let the palms face up and just be here in a nice supported back body in mountain pose. You can find the 4 corners of your feet, the inner and outer heel, the mound of the big toe over to the little toe. And then draw the right knee in towards the chest, give it a hug. Let the hips be even. If that means dropping your right outer hip a little bit to even out, go for it. Right? Sometimes we're overzealous in hugging our knee in. And then switch legs, extend the right leg, find mountain again at the wall for a moment. Press away. If you are not using the wall, just brighten up the soles of the feet. Give them a flex and then extend the balls of the feet forward. And then switch sides, hug the left knee in. Good. So what's so nice about being against the floor here is you can feel the back of the pelvis at the floor. Right? Get a sense of that evenness. One way that we can bring kindness, bring chesed into the body is just by softening overall. Can you soften your mind? The intensity of your mind, your thoughts? Can you soften your shoulders, your jaw, your throat? And then release the left leg, grab your strap, take the right foot into the strap and send the right leg up toward the ceiling. And you can, let's take the strap at the front arch of the foot. So you're sort of pressing the mound of the big toe in as you're pulling the strap to give a flex onto your foot. Maybe feeling some sensation in the back of the leg, hamstrings, the calf, the Achilles. And then take both sides of the strap into the right hand, and then take the right leg out to the right. Okay, so often we really have the thought on the legs here because it's where we feel the most sensation, but can we also find evenness through the side waists and up to the shoulders? And then come on back up through center. Release the strap and we'll switch sides. If you need to renew your connection to the wall by coming a little closer and pressing away again, go ahead. And then we'll take the left leg up towards the wall. Right, left foot, I mean. And take the strap around the front arch of the foot. And then take both sides of the strap into the left hand. Inhale. And exhale that left leg out to the left. We want to make sure that the right hip point, the right thigh remain down. Remain grounded. So only come out as far as you're able comfortably. Don't push it too much. We're still in early part of practice and possibly the early part of your day. So the body's just waking up. And again, can you feel the length in the side waists? So just this one action of like feeling length and opening in the side waist, begin to open your ribs and make room for your lungs and your respiration. And that is oseh chesed. Just that. Simple action, isn't it? And then bring the left leg up, release the strap, and just give the knees a little hug or a happy baby, anything you want, any kind of shake out. And then make your way up to standing in any way you'd like. And I want to encourage you, throughout the day, find ways la'asot chesed, to just bring a little bit of loving kindness toward your body, into your being, by taking a softening, by taking a deep breath, by extending and opening the sideways. So we're going to face the chair and we're going to fold forward toward the chair. You could take the hips, the legs, hip width or mat width, as you like. Ground the legs. Inhale, draw the elbows back, lift the center of the chest up, and then exhale, fold forward and take support on the chair. You might cross the forearms. You might put your blanket onto the chair or a pillow to lift it up toward you. And again, you could use the side of a sofa or something, a table.
So now scan through your body once you arrive here and see how can I make room, create some loving kindness somewhere in my body. It could be the calves or the knees or the hips or the shoulders or the side waists. What is it for you? Where can you invite chesed? Maybe it's simply elongating your exhale, making your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. So I will leave it to you as you scan the body to see what needs chesed, where. And how can I invite it? How can I bring it? And then when you're ready, come on up, release. And you'll see we're gonna extend the leg, just like we did on the floor. We're gonna extend the leg. You'll see if you want to do it on the seat side of the chair or the upper side of the chair. You'll see what amount of length you want. And that'll determine and how you set yourself up. And also, if you want really even extra balance, you could put your back to a wall and have your chair in front of you or your hand to a wall. So first we're going to use the left leg for standing and extend the right leg out to the chair. So again, it could be much lower than this. It could be to the chair seat, or you may want more 90 degrees like I have. The left foot is right below my left hip, and then you can also take your right hand in like a horseshoe with the thumb and the first finger, draw it into the outer hip crease and draw it down. So what am I doing by that action? We are evening out the hips. We're evening out the pelvis. That is a great act of chesed. Because when we're even in the hips, that reverberates downward through the legs and the lower body, and it also reverberates upward through the spine to the shoulders. Right? Getting the hips even can be for the entire, right? So there's one great opportunity. Be here and breathe. And you can flex through that right foot and then also extend through the front arch. And then when you're ready, bring that leg down and we'll send the left leg forward. So right leg is the standing leg, the left leg is forward. You'll see where the best place is for you for it to hit the chair. It could be at the ankle or the more meaty part of the calf. So just see what works best for you. Both of the hip points are facing forward in this moment. And then again, you can horseshoe that left hand and put it into the crease of the hip and just remind that left outer hip to release down. Notice how this is, this second side compared to the first side. Be here and breathe. And then release. And now we're going to take the right leg again, but take it out to the side and place it on the chair. So right leg out to the side, left leg is the standing leg, and then I have the support of the chair. Again, on the seat, or up above, as I have it here. And if you'd like, I don't have the space here with my ceiling, but you could extend both arms up if you'd like and lengthen through the side waist. But whether you choose to do that or to send the arms up or not, now once we've sort of refined the legs a little, let's lift up the chest, lift up, make more space from the top of the pelvis to the bottom of, to the base of the rib cage, make space, and make space through the ribs and all the way up to the armpits. This is nice too, actually, just taking your thumbs into your armpits and kind of lifting up the shoulder girdle. Forgot about that one until this moment. This is quite sweet. And in this manner, we have a sense of oseh chesed for the whole torso. And then release and take your chair to the other side. And we'll take the left leg out. Right, so this is exactly what we did. We did it on the floor first so that we could feel the loving kindness of the floor supporting the back body. And now here we are freestanding and we have a little bit of support from the chair, but basically we're just freestanding here. We can remember the support to the back body and then we can lift up. So again, if you want to send the arms up or if you want to take the thumbs under the armpits, that's quite nice. It helps lift the whole shoulder girdle and lift the collarbones. And just be here and breathe. You can even turn the corners of your mouth up. And just finding a sense of ease, equanimity, and loving kindness for the body, just like Eliezer was requesting. And let it be as he did. Let it be a prayer. You can let our whole practice be a prayer. And when you're ready, you can release. Let's see. How are we doing for time? Okay. Let's come to the floor and face the chair and practice a forward bend. We've done such a beautiful job of really like lifting and opening. I can feel it already. So let's really take the beautiful blessing of that for a seated forward bend. So if you're facing your chair, take your hands to the chair seat, ground the legs, lift the heart, inhale, and then as you exhale, come on forward. Maybe you'll extend the arms and reach them toward the chair. And use that opening and lift of the side body as you fold. Maybe you'll rest the forehead to the chair, or you can even place a block on the chair. Inhale and come up. Cross the legs. Doesn't matter which shin is in front. And then once again, we'll inhale long and exhale, fold forward. Maybe you want to use the chair. Maybe you want to take the arms toward the floor and walk the fingertips forward. Maybe you don't want the chair, but just finding, again, some opening for the hips. And again, this sort of theme of our class of lengthening through the side waists, open side ribs. As an expression of chesed. Walk the hands in, switch the shin, other leg in front, and same thing, come forward, arms to the chair, or walking out on the floor. As you're ready, come on up. And we'll come to the floor. Again, have your strap nearby. We're going to take a bridge pose variation. Some of you expressed enjoying this one when we did it a little while back. So I thought, let's bring this one back. We're taking the strap right in front of the ankles, feet to the floor. And if your shoulders allow for it, if the flexibility of your hips allow for it, you can take your hands to the fronts of the ankles and just lose the strap. But this one gives you a little more space. The heels are in toward the sitting bones. We're going to do this bridge pose variation. So inhaling, fill the belly. Exhale, lengthen the tailbone. Lift the hips. So it's just a little mini bridge here with the hands to the strap. And lift up the hip points, the shoulders. You can take under you to whatever extent you wish. And then when you're ready, just lower down vertebra by vertebra. We'll take it again a couple of times. So not such a long hold, but coming down vertebra by vertebra and then back to the floor. Pause here and breathe. And just let the back body settle once more toward the floor. I love bridge pose, as you can probably tell, because we do it quite often. Because I think bridge pose is really a chesed. It's like a whole body chesed. It's kind to the spine. It opens the front body. It opens the shoulders. It opens the hips, and it opens the quads, the thighs, and it just really has benefit that moves through the whole body. So let's take it one more time. Holding on to the strap. Inhale. Let the belly fill. Press. And again, you can decide how far you want to come up. Arms are straight, hip points toward the ceiling. The throat has some space. Be here, a couple of breaths. Don't let those knees splay. You want them parallel. And then as you're ready, widen the shoulders, lower down vertebra by vertebra to the floor. We'll take a third variation. You can take it again with the strap, or you can clasp hands underneath the body if you want. You could take your hands to the sides of the mat if you prefer that. Inhale, fill the pelvic bowl. Exhale, let the tailbone lengthen first, then press into the feet and lift the hip points. You get a sense of your bearings as you lift the hips toward the ceiling, and then lastly start to lift your shoulders under. Maybe take hold, clasp hands, opposite hands, if that's available to you. So can you do this pose with calming? And then when you're ready, slowly lower down. We'll take one more shape for today. Hug the knees to the chest for a moment. And then we're going to take the knees over to the right side. So arms can extend in a T, out by the shoulders. If you'd like to place a block or the blanket between the knees to ease if there's too much sensation in the left hip, that's a very nice choice. Try to be Keep that left shoulder and left shoulder blade grounded down. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. So make it a comfortable twist. So all that beautiful length we found for the side body, now we can use that as benefit and spaciousness as we rotate through the torso. Couple more breaths here. And as you're ready, inhale, come back to center. And then exhale your knees over to the left. Ground that right shoulder blade, right outer shoulder blade down. Again, if you want the block between the knees, between the lower legs, it's a nice variation. The gaze can be up toward the ceiling, or it could be over the right shoulder, if your neck allows. And just remind yourself, where can I soften? Where can I bring loving kindness through softening? So much of the time between whatever's going on in our inner world, our personal experiences, our personal outer world, and the greater outer world, we just tighten and we don't even know we're tightening, right? And so to loosen our grip just for 30 minutes, 45 minutes here today, it'll all be waiting for us. We don't have to stay like a coiled spring all the time. And this helps us to return with greater clarity, greater strength, really. When you're done with the twist, come on back to center, give the knees a hug or happy baby, any kind of final movement that you might like. Before we settle into stillness. And then one of the greatest ways to make chesed, I think, is to cover ourselves with the blanket for final resting. There's just something, there's of course the warmth and there's the weight. Anyone who likes to use a weighted blanket knows about that. And there's so much science behind just having a little weight on the body, how it calms the nervous system. And it's just the gesture of love, like you wrap a child in their blankie, wrap yourself in your blankie. Sometimes we feel that when we put on a talit, that it could just be a whole gesture of chesed, an instrument of chesed. We'll find stillness and we'll take a few minutes for rest. Know that you have the support of the floor, the support of the earth, holding you, meeting you. Off you go. Begin to deepen the breath. And I want to ask you to discern if whether you need to get right back into your day right now or whether you can offer yourself a little extra chesed of staying a little longer for some rest. And if so, really allow yourself that. Go ahead and lengthen your practice today. And if you're returning to your day, your schedule, just wiggle fingers and toes. Hug the knees to the chest. Make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Take all the time you need. And when you arrive to a comfortable seat, feel your body on your support, whether it's block or the chair. Feel your spine in length. Feel the sides of your body in length. And feel the width, the breadth of your rib cage. Side to side, front to back. And bring your palms together at your heart, this gesture of prayer, reflecting the prayer of Eliezer for chesed, lasot chesed, really to do kindness, starting here at home, so that we can extend it out to the world. And I ask you to consider throughout this week, what are ways in which you might offer yourself chesed, loving kindness, little softness in the body, evenness through the body. And then in a gesture of Amen Selah, like really, yeah, let's do that. I hear you. Shamati, bow your chin toward your chest, bowing the wisdom of the head, the intelligence, to the wisdom of the heart, knowing. And then you can release the hands down to your lap, lift your head, and if the eyes were closed, allow them to open. Shavua Tov, everybody. Thank you for practicing. Again, a reminder, there will be no yoga studio next week. So when you see the email in your box, don't be surprised. It'll have the meditation link, but not the yoga link for next week. And I'll be back in 2 weeks. And again, check out the Kripalu retreat, December 4 to 7, if you are thinking that's something that would be positive for you. It's called Rededicating Your Light. And so it's both the light of Shabbat and anticipating the light of Hanukkah, which will begin December 14th. So again, that's December 4 to 7. And we're here for questions. Remember that it often takes like 48 hours, oh, not 48, 24 hours to get the yoga up onto YouTube, but you can practice again during the week. And certainly if you'd like to make a donation to IJS in any amount, if this practice or any of our other resources have been helpful to you, please consider doing so in any amount. Okay, we have some time.